Assalamu alaikum. Firstly, greatly humbled at winning this award for a second year running. This is really a testament to each of the 17,000 HBL employees who work in Pakistan and all over the place. It's what they do every day and the culture they create in their workplace is what gives us this recognition. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for recognizing the work that they do. It's really the culture, and we've been on this journey for more than 20 years now, and so as Atif also said, yes, unfortunately, then you start to look at some, we bankers, we think about KPIs and we look at numbers and we look at where we were and where we are now, but really that's really not the intent. It's the environment that we create. And so when we embarked on this journey, I think it was very important for people to also understand the business case behind it. And there is an absolute solid business case. If you could go on to the third slide, please. That'll be helpful. No, the one after this. After this, please. After this. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, just click on this one. So, we just put some numbers down there. If you just click on this one, please. If you just look at the numbers around both gender as well as people with disabilities, it's very, very startling and very stark. You have a situation where only 19% of ladies in this country work compared to 64% for men. And if you look at the people with disabilities, and I'm just using two parameters here. Obviously, there's a lot more to inclusion. But if you look at the people with disabilities, if you just look at the very conservative numbers that we have in Pakistan, which are the declared numbers and reported numbers, which are considerably lower than the global numbers, still we have around 26 million Pakistanis who have some form of disability, who are disenfranchised and not part of the economy or the workforce. And that in itself is roughly around 5% of the GDP is the impact that there is. So there is an absolute business case for inclusion. And so when we embarked, I think what was clear and important about this journey was we will not waver. And that's really what's gotten us to where we are today. You talk to any one of the 17,000 employees in the organization and ask them what is important in terms of inclusion and why is gender diversity important. Each and every one will give you the same answer, and that takes time. It's for them to understand. It's about winning their hearts and souls and minds, and getting them to understand what role they play in that and why it's important for not just HBL but for Pakistan as well. So that's really our ethos. That's really how we drive it, and that's something that as I said, we're on a journey. We have not arrived at all, despite being on it for 20 years. We still have a long way to go, and that's really how all of us collectively look at this. So when we got this award, when it was announced, it was the first message that went out was, all of you have done this, and that's really something that we continue to take pride in. If you could just go on to the next slide, please. Look, with over 3,500 ladies who work for us, we're one of the largest organizations in Pakistan with such a large female workforce, and if there's one thing that I'm proud of is when I joined the organization around 7 years back, we were looking at numbers, etc. And again, I'm sorry to revert back to numbers, but one of the things they said was the region which has the lowest participation of women in the workforce was Mardan, and we had around 2 or 3%. Or ladies working in Mardan, and said nothing can be done. That's the kind of society, that's the culture. Men will not let their wives and their daughters to come and work. And we said, look, that's not an acceptable reason, or we can't accept that. Last year we closed Mardan with 11% females, And that's really, you have to stay on course, and you have to keep working at it. We even brought in, and we asked parents of prospective female employees to come in some years back and come and sit in the branch to see the kind of work that happens there, the kind of people who come in there. And that started to encourage some of the parents to send their daughters to come and work for us. When they started to come in, obviously then they referred to others, and they saw that. The other success and something I'm proud of is really, around 4 or 5 years back, we were running this program, a sensitization program with IFC, where we sensitized all our staff on gender and why it's important, both in terms of having female employees as well as having female customers. And there's one branch manager from Peshawar, during the tea break, he comes to me and he says to me, "This has changed my life." And I said, "Okay, why is that?" He said, "I'd never looked at ladies the way I look at them now. And so when I go back, how I will look at my wife, my mother, my daughter is going to be different." And that's when you start to make a difference and change to this country and the society. And that's why it's very, very important that organizations stay steadfast and keep driving this agenda. I mean, all the other stuff that we have is really about some of the initiatives and interventions that we do during the course of the years to really make our culture and our workplace conducive. And so that's I'm not going to get into any of those details, but really it's about providing them an environment where they feel safe to come and work, where they feel we can thrive in terms of a career. And some of our trailblazers are we're struggling right now. Atif mentioned that as well. We're struggling right now in terms of senior females, but we have produced the Seema Kamals of this country as well. But the two ladies that you see on this slide, the lady on the top and the lady on the bottom, they are really our who we consider our trailblazers. The one on top. She's an agri-finance officer in Gilgit. The lady that we have on the bottom is a team leader for our retail lending business in Jeddah. And these are ladies, and they've gotten into roles which always have been done by men. But they did not take no for an answer. They took on that challenge. We supported and helped them. And they are in this role, and they're really the trailblazers, which will make a difference to not just HBL but to Pakistan. And that's really what we focus on is helping these ladies get into roles which have traditionally always been done by men. And so these are the ladies that we remain proud of day in, day out, and we continue to support them and drive them. The last piece around the people with disabilities piece, we embarked on that journey around 5 years ago. And again, absolute and extreme support from the board. And I think the biggest achievement I would, categorize and ascribe to this particular one is really changing mindsets of our employees. Now we've trained around 12,000 of our employees on people in supporting people with disabilities, how to work with them, how to address them, what to say, what not to say. These are a lot of very basic things that a lot of us struggle with, and that's really what we're trying. We had more than 2,000 of our employees go through sign language training, because that's what they wanted to learn and do, because now we started to induct more and more, and they feel that's what's required to be able to communicate, interact, and support them. And wherever we have put employees or interns with disabilities, invariably, 100% of the time, the people come back and say, we want to hire these people and keep them here, because they're extremely, extremely productive. And it changes the environment and culture in those areas as well. So these are just some small successes that we've had over the years. We'll continue on our journey. And like I said, we have not arrived at all. It's a long journey that we continue to have and will continue to be on. So again, thank you very much, Zahid, for the recognition. We're greatly humbled, and we're as part of our strategy as well, is we're out there to try and help and support any organization that is looking to advice or help or guidance. We're out there. We've tried to do some stuff last year. We'll continue to do that this year as well. But we really want to work towards making Pakistan a lot more inclusive. Thank you very much.